This isn't left, and this isn't right. This is Off the Record Canada. In a world where echo chambers shout louder than the truth, where mobs canceled before they are questioned, and where opinions are more about teams than thinking, we're breaking the cycle. Here, we don't debate to win, we ask to understand, using the power of Spectrum Street epistemology. We're hitting the pause on the noise, peeling back the layers of unbelief, and asking, why do we think the way we do? This is the spot for the curious to unravel what is going on behind the scenes, the ones who feel stuck between extremes. We are here to break that group polarization because we know the truth is always somewhere in the middle. Welcome to the conversation you didn't know you needed. This is Off the Record. I wanted to dive right into a proposed bill that was proposed by our Prime Minister in Canada, Mark Carney. The proposed bill is Bill C-9, the Combating Hate Act, and Bill C-63, Online Harms Act. So I wanted to just break down for you guys what that entails. So I'm going to go piece by piece. So attacking someone because of race, religion, or gender. Okay, we kind of had that in our laws before. So what's the difference? So before, I believe if you were found guilty of hate speech, it was 2 to 3 years you could spend in jail. So harsher jail time now. You can spend from up to 10 years or more, depending, I guess, if you're guilty or not. Clear definition of hate. So stronger feelings or vilification or detestation. So detesting someone or something. This helps police and courts know what is and isn't hate speech. Banning public displays of hate symbols. So we'll find out what these symbols are. So with these symbols, it will become illegal to show Nazi symbols or terrorist logos in public, unless it's for education, art, or news. Protecting churches, synagogues, mosques, and schools. So makes it a crime to block or scare people from going into specific communities, like religious communities and schools. Tougher rules for online hate. People can file human rights complaints if they're victims of online hate. So this means all social platforms will be required to take down harmful content faster, let users report hate easier, and show what actions they're taking. Faster charges. Before, police had to get special permission to lay hate speech charges. Now they can just charge someone more quickly without waiting. So it sounds like they don't need to get that special permission. So now that we've gone over what these proposed bills are, let's go over some pros and cons. We'll start out first with the pros. So pro 1 is that stronger protection for communities, clear definition of hate, banned on harmful hate symbols, protects access to places of worship, takes online hate seriously, faster legal action, protects kids online, and prevention before harm. Now we'll look over the cons. Free speech concerns. Worries that lawful opinions might be wrongfully labeled as hate speech. Broad language. Terms like hatred or harmful content might be interpreted too broadly. Over censorship by platforms. Social media might remove too much content just to be safe, even fair political debates. Police discretion without oversight. Removing the Attorney General's approval might lead to more charges without checks. harder to debate controversial issues. Sensitive topics, immigration, gender policies might become harder to discuss openly. Guilty before action peace bonds. Peace bonds based on what someone might do in the future raises concerns about fairness. So, those are the cons. I wanted to share now some of my thoughts and impressions about this proposed bill. My impressions of this proposed bill is I think this bill was brought up due to the recent circumstances stemming from the US with the martyr of Charlie Kirk, and how the internet is up in a big roar, and there's a lot of tensions are high, to say the least, on left-leaning and right-leaning. On both sides, tensions are very high, and there's a lot of hurtful things being said. So much talk right now. I can see where the concern is stemming from of political violence and group polarization and echo chambers. Then there should be policies made strictly on media. As an example, I was speaking with a friend of mine and we both have a different lean towards politics, okay? And we were talking, I was like, oh, have you heard this and that? And she's like, no, what are you watching? She's like, have you heard this and that? And I was like, no, what are you watching? Because we have very different political point of views. So I told her, why don't you send me some of the stuff you're seeing on your end, and I'll send you some of the stuff I'm seeing on my end. And we did. We sent each other some stuff. And after watching each other's stuff, we both could have more of a neutral understanding of each other. I think the challenge with the group polarization and political violence is, the political violence is stemming from group polarization and echo chambers. So because of the way the algorithm works, we're getting just one side of the story. And because things have changed with reports where we're having more right-leaning reports and then we're having more left-leaning reports, we're not getting a balance. So we're not. So everybody's like, no, I have the truth. I have the truth. And what's funny is, what if they're both true? Have you ever considered that? Like, what if they're both true? What if there's a glass table of truth and someone takes a giant boulder and shatters it, and each person has a piece of truth, and they're like fighting each other with this broken piece of truth? Has that ever, has that ever occurred to you guys? Because when I was talking with my friend and she shared some of her stuff she was seeing, and I shared some of my stuff I was seeing with her, and we could kind of see a bigger picture put together from seeing each other's stuff, it just blew my mind. I think that if the government and all politicians, whether they're right or left-leaning, really care to stop political violence or polarization or echo chambers, then there needs to be policy made on social media platforms where we're getting both stories. Anything political should come in our algorithm, and we should be able to see both, not just one side, because that just divides more. My concern, I think, sometimes I wonder if this division is done purposely. I don't know. Sometimes I do. I wonder if it's done on purpose, because as far as I'm concerned, political parties are being looked at more like team. Oh, what team are you on? People are scared. Even people are scared to bring up politics because it's such a heated, passionate thing, and that shouldn't be the case. What do you guys think? Leave your comments below. But I want to hear your opinion. I am open. I don't care if you're left or right leaning. I want to know what your thoughts are. Do you think it's good for all the people, for everybody, not just one set of political leaning? Is it good for everybody? Yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys have to think about this. Now, it's one thing to explore how group dynamics and online momentum can shape the way we think, but when that energy starts to influence public policy, it's important to take a closer look. Bills like C-9 and Bill C-63 have sparked a lot of conversation. Some see them as necessary steps to addressing modern challenges, while others are raising concerns about how they might affect freedom of expression or expand government overreach. To help you form your own opinion, here's a clip of politicians discussing these proposed bills. Listen carefully to the language, the framing, and what's being emphasized, and just keep in mind the bigger picture we've all been talking about.
It's okay by me.
Can you guarantee that if C-9 passes, no Canadian will end up being charged because of something they've posted on Twitter or Facebook?
Well, if they commit the crime of willfully promoting hatred against another person.
A crime with a definition that you're changing.
So, but it's possible that they could be convicted for what they willfully promoting hate online today. So certainly I would hope if someone commits a crime in the real world or online that they would face the appropriate criminal penalty if in fact it's captured by the code.
We had in my riding a very disturbing case a few weeks ago where someone had mowed a swastika, a Hakenkreuz I should say, into their lawn and was charged under the existing criminal code definition. They displayed a symbol. It was found to be willfully promoting hate. Law enforcement and the Crown agreed that they could lay that charge. So why is your bill at all necessary when we already have existing powers, which, to Mr. Housefather's point earlier, are simply not being enforced as often as they could be?
This is an important question. I'll answer it very quickly. When you have the willful promotion of hate, the person who's convicted of that could still be convicted, but also of a second charge, the willful promotion of hate using hate symbols, which would attract a greater degree of culpability and potentially a greater penalty, recognizing that the use of hate symbols, when you're willfully promoting hate, can cause greater damage to both the individual and the entirety of the community. So I don't find these points to be inconsistent with one another, but instead that behavior could potentially face an additional charge with a more serious penalty because of the manner in which a person chose to promote hate to cause more damage to an affected community.
Thank you for being with us today. C-9 makes reference specifically with hate symbols to public spaces. Just to confirm, does that include the internet?
Generally speaking, the law will apply equally online as it does in real communities.
So this bill will affect what people can say and write on the internet?
Just in the limited circumstances where there is the willful promotion of hatred against
it will apply
someone.
to the internet. The internet is within the jurisdiction of...
It would be possible that someone could commit a hate crime on the internet, certainly.
So, building off of Mr. Baber's points about the lower threshold for the definition of speech, there is, under this law, assuming Bill C-9 passes, something that might not be legal to say today on the internet. Or it might be legal to say on the internet, could actually be illegal in the future under C-9, could it not?
No, that's entirely inaccurate, and I say that with no judgment to your perspective, but let me explain. The only circumstance where you could imagine some online comment attracting scrutiny under this law would attach to behavior that is criminal today but would be punished less severely. The symbols piece that you pointed to, for example, is attached only to the willful promotion of hate. This is not a blanket symbols ban. The willful promotion of hate is a crime today, but we want to recognize a distinct charge where that same behavior uses certain symbols of hate to bring a higher degree of culpability. So there is no new human behavior that would attract the scrutiny.
I understand, but I'm building off of the discussion earlier on the definition. Is your view that the change in wording, and there was a change in wording, you made a deliberate decision to change the definition that was spelled out in Keekstra and reaffirmed in Whatcott. Is your view that your definition in C-9 will not capture anything beyond what is currently captured right now by the hate definition?
The definition was an attempt to codify, and the reason that there was a... This is a yes or no
question, Minister. Is there at all a lower threshold or a broader net on hate in Canada after C-9 if it passes?
My view on the definition question, because the offences I would give a different answer to you for, but on the definition, my view is that it codifies the same behaviour that is there today, and it was meant to provide clearer guidance to law enforcement in the criminal code to apply the existing standard that has been recognised by the Supreme Court.
Because the same arguments that are being used by you and your government to push Bill C-9 to protect people against hate, which on the surface sounds incredibly noble, but these arguments are the same arguments that have led to the United Kingdom having police literally knocking on people's doors over their tweets. So what guarantee can you give Canadians that we are not headed down that very road, especially in the context of other priority areas identified by you and your government, such as the Online Harms Act, which was introduced twice, actually, in the last two parliaments?
This legislation is not identical in kind to the reforms that have been put in place in the UK, and we've actually looked at their experience and see that there are real challenges with how it's played out. For example, we've got a different approach where some jurisdictions around the world have adopted a more blanket glorification that could attract the scrutiny of a liking a Facebook post, for example, and we chose a different path. We instead tried to be very clear that we would not interfere with the charter rights of Canadians to freely express themselves, but at the same time make it easier to lay charges where hate crimes are committed today. To the extent that you think there is a better way to clarify and codify the existing definition, do know that I believe in Parliament, and I don't care which party comes forward with these amendments. If it creates multi-partisan buy-in to codify the test, that's okay by me.
Can you guarantee that if C-9 passes, no Canadian will end up being charged because of something they've posted on Twitter or Facebook?
Well, if they commit the crime of willfully promoting hatred against another person.
A crime with a definition that you're changing.
So, but it's possible that they could be convicted for what they willfully promoting hate online today. So certainly I would hope if someone commits a crime in the real world or online that they would face the appropriate criminal penalty if in fact it's captured by the code.
We had in my riding a very disturbing case a few weeks ago where someone had mowed a swastika, a Hakenkreuz I should say, into their lawn and was charged under the existing criminal code definition. They displayed a symbol. It was found to be willfully promoting hate. Law enforcement and the Crown agreed that they could lay that charge. So why is your bill at all necessary when we already have existing powers, which, to Mr. Housefather's point earlier, are simply not being enforced as often as they could be?
This is an important question. I'll answer it very quickly. When you have the willful promotion of hate, the person who's convicted of that could still be convicted, but also of a second charge, the willful promotion of hate using hate symbols, which would attract a greater degree of culpability and potentially a greater penalty, recognizing that the use of hate symbols, when you're willfully promoting hate, can cause greater damage to both the individual and the entirety of the community. So I don't find these points to be inconsistent with one another, but instead that behavior could potentially face an additional charge with a more serious penalty because of the manner in which a person chose to promote hate to cause more damage to an affected community.
So whether you see these bills as progression, precaution, or something in between, what matters most is that we're all paying attention. Not just to what's being said, but how it's being framed and who it affects. Group momentum can be powerful, but not being aware can be dangerous. That's what keeps it honest. If this sparks something for you, questions, ideas, even pushback, that's the point. Keep asking, keep listening, and most importantly, don't just follow the noise. This has been Off the Record Canada, where we don't tell you what to think. We just bring you the real and let you decide. Until next time, stay curious, friends. Steffanie out.
This pain is breaking me. This world is taking me. And in these eyes lies a hero. The faintest heartbeat, it echoes a shadow of hope beyond these walls. Signs of a hero, like the fall of the rain, as it washes over. The world's born again. When the waves come crashing in, we will not back down. And when the lights start growing dim, we will stand our ground. It's what we pray. times come to rain.